Tzvi Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So finally, I'm getting to this really good article in Doctor Who magazine that I've been wanting to get to for ages, actually. I think since the magazine came out. When did it come out? A couple of weeks ago? It seems like a while ago, but boy, we have had our notice taken by some major clangers, I think dropped by Rusty Davis. When I think major clangers, they were talking about Doomsday. And look, mate, the rumor is that he didn't see it until after it went out, and there's a lot going on, but there was a major publicity hanger, right? It was a major PR, self-own. It didn't go down well. And then just as I think you're coming out of that, you had Jinx Monsoon happen this week. So I actually got somebody gave me some really important context and background for Jinx Monsoon, which I think might change things. But really, what it boils down to is the proof is going to be in the pudding, right? We're going to see what Russell's doing. Look, there's a very, very strong possibility that he has been co-opted by this weird, I call it mind virus, that makes decent, normal, sensible, moral people, which is what I would describe Rusty Davis, and most people, quite frankly, just lose their freaking mind and be kind of pushed into a point where they support grooming, right? And by grooming I mean normalizing adult sexuality for children, right? And the amazing thing is this: everybody who's okay with it, well, not everybody, most people who are okay with it don't have any children, right? Vast majority of people do not have any children. Frankly, I think there's a place for drag in the world. I would like people to enjoy. Jonathan Turner, actually, interestingly enough, had one of his ideas for BBC Video after the Year's Day, he was trying to sell this to the BBC as well, was to put out a compilation of the BBC drag hacks. So we wouldn't call it drag from the archives. So there's definitely a going back a long way, a market for this. Is it a gateway to normalize adult sexuality for children? I don't think it necessarily has to be. Look, when I met Danny LaRue, at Panto, it certainly wasn't. Right, well, it wasn't for me anyway. don't know about Danny, mate. But, actually, I don't want to ask. That was the 70s. Who knows what was going on? Anyway, but, so we're in a bit of a concerning time, I would say, in Doctor Who. A bit of a concerning time about the future of Doctor Who. So, the excitement that we've all had about the new Rusty Davis new era has really taken a kick in the balls, right? And obviously, if you're female, the feminine equivalent, but it's definitely taking a kick in the balls, which is why it's taken me a while to get to the story, which is all about the 60th anniversary special. So, my basic point about this is I'm remaining optimistic until I really have reason not to be. And right now, again, the context I got about Jinx, which I'll be going over on my live stream on Saturday night, 7 p.m. UK, will be, it means to me, it seems more likely than not it's going to be not a grooming type of situation, right? And if it is, I'm sorry, but I hopefully it's not. That's basically where I am. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully Rusty Davis understands that's something that's not going to be well appreciated by the viewing public, which is, the bottom line, right? It's interesting. Amazon recently, it came out, is it a rumor or is it a report? I don't know. It came out that they stopped using audience appreciation ranking because queer stories, I mean, that's their terminology, not mine, is off-putting for most viewers. So, they don't want to hear it, right? They don't want to hear it. So, I don't know. I hope Rusty Davis wants to hear it. I do not know. But definitely, it's dampened the excitement for the 60th anniversary and much more for the shooting out with stuff. Time will tell. Time will tell. Listen. Maybe some some Nicola Bryant sexy shots of Millie Gibson might do the trick. Do you remember that? Like Nicola Bryant kept having to do these weird sort of semi not porn, but certainly salacious photo shoots, right? Just lots and lots of. Yeah, you would have thought John Nathan Turner was glopping off, all over the place, but no. By to Matthew Waterhouse probably, but Nicola Bryant no. But that was a bit weird. So maybe something like that might remove the sheen that we are. Oh, she might be the wrong word. The sheen of disappointment that we may well be living under. But anyway, look. Generally speaking, I think it's worth being optimistic, right? I think it's worth being optimistic, at least for the 60th. So we're going to look at this article about the 60th. Where is it? From this month's Doctor Who magazine. Good issue of Doctor Who magazine, for, quite frankly. So, we're going to... Wait, let me pull that up 1 second. It's, we go... Now, what's it? I'm kind of miffed with Pocket Mags, which is what I get my digital subscription from, because... they only let you download 8 pages of this a day. Frankly, you should be able to download the whole PDF in one go. I guess I'll go to a BitTorrent site or something and download it that way. It's just kind of irritating. But anyway, so this is the article that we're going to go. The 3 directors, which again, I think the 6th anniversary, we're probably in pretty safe ground, is going to be 5 Doctor-ish on steroids and rather good, right? We're probably in pretty good there. I actually just noticed this as they're talking to, I guess that's, how do you pronounce the name? Chanya? Haya? I don't know, Chanya Button? I like they got her in the 8th Doctor console room, TARDIS, like vintage TV that you pull down of those, that what's it called again? The squeegee thing, he pulled it down. That's actually a real vintage TV. Not a lot of people know that, but it really was a genuine 1950s TV, I think. So that'll be fun. So look, we're going to be looking at the 6th anniversary. I'm going to ask you, hit the like, share, and subscribe button. That'll be awesome. Thank you very much. If you're on Rumble, definitely subscribe. I want to build up that Rumble channel. If you're not on Rumble, head on over to Rumble. It's all where all the cool kids are. Basically, look. They need to get more content makers on there and come on, Rumble. It's the Rumble's really on the on the bubble right now to blow away YouTube. In terms of my live streams, I get 4 times the views on Rumble. So so please head over to Rumble, subscribe there. Look in the video notes. You'll find my Instagram, which I hardly use. Twitter I use a lot. You can find all my video content on Twitter. I'm paying for Twitter Blue, so I'm trying to decide whether or not to keep it. I'll keep it for 3 months. But all my video content's over on Twitter. YouTube, obviously, what can I tell you? Still there. Where else is there? Just look at the video. Substack, all those things are good. Fine, let's start reading this article. The 3 directors. So one I'm very excited about. Rachel Talalay, have a lot of confidence in her. Chanya Button, never heard of her before. And I think Tom Kingsley actually has quite some good form. But let's hear what they got to say, right? Let's hear what they got to say. We need some more stuff, Russell. Okay, we especially after the last couple of weeks we had, we need some more stuff. Let's have a read of this. Directors are a bit like the doctors in that you rarely find more than one in a place at a time. But for Rachel Talalay, Tom Kingsley, and Chanya every time I have trouble saying this. Chanya Barton, the directors helming this year's Doctor Who 6th anniversary specials productions. Schedulers were able to waive the Blinovich limitation of it. Who wrote this? This is a well-written interview. Hang on, let me have a look back. I didn't give whoever it was credit. Paul Kirkley. Paul Kirkley knows what he's doing. Okay, doink. Limitation effect. So we can all talk to him. And convene all 3 of them at the same time. Well, I thought it'd be 3 different interviews. They're kind of merging into one. It's a space-time event as production for their stories overlapped during the summer of 2022. As a director, you hang out with lots of different crews and lots of different actors, but you never hang out with other directors, says Tom. I guess that's the case. I never really thought about it before, right? So it was great to be able to spend some time with Rachel and Chanya. Chanya, please give me a hint how to pronounce your name. It was nice to celebrate the good times and moan about the bad times. We really had a strong bond together, agrees Rachel. It wasn't about who was competing with who. It was about how can we make this whole unit work. So yeah, this is something that again fills me with optimism, because this is the attitude that we really had from the production team in the 2005 to 2010, right? It was a group of people working very hard, happily working very hard together to do the absolute best they can. And if you weren't around in that 2005, 2010 time frame, that's really what it was like. Like, first it was just amazement they got to work on Doctor Who. Secondly, it was complete amazement that it actually worked, right? Have you ever seen Remembrance of the Daleks, right? The great cliffhanger when Ace is being surrounded by Daleks. They're like, exterminate! And she's trying to put the rocket-propelled grenade into the launcher. And then Daleks walks in with like, in the cliffhanger. Spoiler alert for 30 years ago. More than that. Walks in with this like device he made up, similar to the thing of Spiridon. And he like confuses the Daleks. Right? But there's this great, and this is why I love Sylvester McCoy, there's this great moment in it where he's like, it worked! It actually worked! That was the production team in 2005, 2006. Like, what? People like this shit? Really? Get out of that! It really was like that. So, that's good news. That feeling that of unity and optimism working together to make something great. I'm glad that's back, right? I'm glad, and even if it's not real, at least they made it seem real, right? You didn't really get that in the Moffat years, by the way. They had a much higher turnover of other producers and lots of stories of Stephen Moffat chewing out people occasionally, but there was a much higher turnover of production crew and the Moffat. So you really didn't get that feeling, and then Chibnall, I don't think anybody really... Did anybody really give a crap? No, I don't think so, because they knew they were working on a lame duck thing, which was weird, because by the time he got to Flux, I thought the production work was really quite good on a lot of stuff. I thought some of that production work was really, really... I like the Dalek ship design. I like the Cybermen design. I thought, a lot of that production work was I like Carvanista. Right? Honestly, I genuinely did. I thought, that was fun. So I'm getting the same kind of vibe from this, which is good. So it was great to spend time together with Rachel and Hanya. I'm going to go with Hanya, right? It was nice to celebrate the good times and moan about the bad times. We read all this already. How can we make it work? How can we make the whole unit work, which is, as Tom says, isn't something you normally do as a director. People are very invested, right? And again, I think Russell's able to do that because he's so invested, right? I think... Honestly, and again, this is something you learn with age, right? That every organization takes its cues from the person in charge, right? The person at top takes its personality from it, and I'm glad we're seeing that again, right? Getting to know Rachel and Tom, who are both absolutely brilliant, was one of the loveliest things about making these specials, concurs Khanya. It's very rare you get to do that and it ended up a really a special part of the process. Today the three directors attempt to reunite the three. Today, Doctor Who magazine's attempt to reunite the three directors for a chat about the specials met with only limited success. We managed to lift Rachel and Tom from their own time streams. Onto the same Zoom call, but Hanya is stuck in a time eddy. She's actually shooting a movie, so her contribution was recorded separately. If it helps to picture her on a television dangling from the TARDIS ceiling, go right ahead. As the trio give us a lowdown on Rusty Davis, David Tennant, Catherine Tate, and the gangs launch a Doctor Who into the latest incredible chapter of its 6-decade odyssey. Okay. So let's get into the interview. Oh, what's this? Curse of the Fatal Death? I'm intrigued to see how that ties in. Okay. So, Doctor Who's 60th anniversary, you guys are in charge of the body. No pressure. Rachel's laughing. Not at all. We didn't feel any. Rachel, you've got nothing to worry about. You directed some of the best freaking episodes of Doctor Who ever. This is an unpopular opinion. I freaking love Twice Upon a Time, okay? I absolutely adore it. And pretty much every episode you've done. It was a great honor, said Tom. These scripts are so good. And you're supported by such a good team. You really don't feel under any pressure. Okay, that's very good. It does feel like a great privilege and a great responsibility as someone who loves Doctor Who myself. It says Hanya, and has such a love, such and who loves Doctor Who myself and has such a Lot of love and respect for the show and its fans. I absolutely blown away by the opportunity to be involved with the anniversary. Okay, fine. We're looking her up a little bit. What's that? Chania Button. There we go. Chania Button, director. Okay. What's she done? She looks very young. Okay, she looks very young. Looking at IMDb. Good. Okay, she's talking the talk, isn't she? Right? She's definitely talking the talk. So she's done Frog Robot. Well, okay, at least that sounds science fiction. Alpha Omega, Burn Burn Burn, Vita and Virginia, World on Fire. There's a director of TV, 2 episodes of TV, The Spanish Princess, and the Whistleable Pearl. Okay, I've never heard of any of these things. Right? So there's nothing really sounds very genre science fiction-y on this, does it? I mean, is there any, like, a ravaged London in the midst of civil war, and the battle line isn't race or religion, it's gender, and the resource at stake isn't land, it's wealth, it's reproduction. That sounds like quite an interesting idea. That does sound like quite an interesting... Okay, so at least that sounds science fiction-y, right? So it sounds like she's got an interest in sci-fi, right? Oh, should we look at her Twitter? I'm scared! What are we going to see? Oh, firstly, she's quite attractive. Don't get me wrong. Okay, nothing really new going on there. Wow, these are... Okay, she hasn't posted anything since 2022. I like her already. This is very good. Okay, that she doesn't use Twitter much. I'm kind of involved with this. I'm kind of on board with her. Fine, let's give her the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. But if she's talking the right... Look, if she's lying, she's saying the right thing. So that's good by me, okay? Coming back to the 60s, Russell and David and with the 60s with Russell and David and Catherine and a whole group of people. Did it feel like a huge honor that you have to live? Oh, this is not the question. This is a response, right? Coming back to do the 60s with Russell and David and Catherine. See, that makes such a difference. Now I know who's speaking. Russell, David and Catherine and the whole group. It did feel like a huge honor, again. I thought you have to live up to the importance of it. I hope you do. I hope you do. And I think the pressure will come closer to the broadcast right after transmission. And that's when I always turn my social media off. Rachel, darling, you can keep it on. We like you, honey. We like you. You're doing good. Pa, everyone loves your work. Okay, we agree. Okay, absolutely. Everyone loves your work, Rachel. According to Russell and they threw themselves at you and begged you to come back. Well, I hope that's the case. Well, they didn't have to work very hard, although I did make them work a little bit because I had another offer, a very large offer at the same time. I wonder what that was. I guess we'll never know. Tom, this is your debut on Doctor Who, your first program you first discovered in 1993's radio drama The Paradise of Death. I'm not sure anyone's ever said that before. Yes, that's... Paradise, was it any good? I don't know. It was better than the Ghost of End Space. That's not a huge compliment. Yeah, when I was growing up, my parents didn't let us watch TV. That's not good news for a TV director, right? Okay, but we used to listen to cassettes of sitcoms and stuff on long car journeys. That's when I heard first of Doctor Who. It was an interesting way to encounter it because you had to imagine what it looked like. Man, that must have been really weird. What's his name again? Let's look up his IMDb. That must have been really genuinely weird. Was it Tom Kingsley? Let's look at his IMDb. That's really strange. There we go. Tom Kingsley, director, Black Pond. Is that him? Director of Ghosts. Okay, I mean, if this is the same guy, we don't have Doctor Who on his... he doesn't have Doctor Who on his IMDb as yet, does he? That's a bit weird. Why is it not there? Did Ghosts. This is Gonna Hurt. True Horror. Oh, it sounds like he's got a bit of form, right? Sounds like he might have a bit of form to direct Doctor Who, right? If this is Tom Kingsley. That sounds like it, doesn't it? The Darkest Universe. What's that? Known for Black Bonnetu and Darkest Universe and Stath Let's Flats. I've never heard any of these things. Okay, fine. Darkest Universe. What is the Darkest Universe? Let's see. Darkest Universe is a BAFTA-nominated director Will Sharp and Tom Kingsley's surreal follow-up to the critically acclaimed Black Pond. I know, it doesn't sound like I got the right IMDb, but whatever. Okay, so he first heard it on The Curse of the Fae. How old is he? He looks like he's bloody 12. But man, look. Look at that. Hot summer's afternoon when they recorded it. Man, back in the old days. So your whole television career is kind of revenge against your parents. Yeah, I think it might be. It's cheaper than therapy. Oh, it depends on therapy, I guess. Kanye, David Tennant was your first Doctor, wasn't he? Yes, I was very much a fan of David Tennant's first tenure. I remember him being so captivated by him and Billy Piper's Rose. So she really is a child of the new generation. Wow, that's kind of wild. Okay. Did you ever tell him that on set that you loved him as a teenager? Would that not have been terribly professional? That would have been a weird conversation, which I hope is on the DVD, right? I want to see that conversation. I don't think I put it quite that way, but I did demonstrate a pretty encyclopedic knowledge of his episodes. Oh, wait, she really is a fangirl. Okay, I'm warming up to her a lot now. He knew I was, again, assuming she's telling the truth, he knew I was going back and rewatching a lot of them while we were working together, which I think he was quite amused by. Me coming back next morning with a question about the ood or the adipose, he was like, are you just going home and watching Doctor Who? I can hear him say that in his Scottish accent, right? which I was. It was fun to revisit. I remember loving at such a formative time in life. Well, how old is she? Do they have her age? Let's go back over here. Kenya Button. Do they have her information? How old? I mean, she looks young. Do we know anything about her? Let me go back, see if I can find her IMDb. No, her Wikipedia or something. Okay, she's 36. So she's 36, so in 2006, how many years ago is that now? That's, we're in 23, so 13, about 20 years minus 16 years. So she's 20? Not that young. Really? Okay, whatever. So fine. She got into it around 20. Okay, she's 36 now. In 2013, she was 26, right? So in 2003, she was 16. So in 2006, 19. She was young. Okay, but not kid age, right? Such a formative time. You're like, it wasn't like 19. It shouldn't be so formative, but okay. What's your reaction to Russell's script? I bet they're good, right? Listen, he can write a good email, let alone a script, right? I man and just tore through it. Even as I was reading, even as a reading experience, it was exciting. I bet it is. But I kind of got to the end and thought, well, I pity whoever has to direct that because it's an absolute nightmare. I was planning to email my agent next day saying it's amazing, but no way. And then I woke up next morning and I was still thinking about it and figuring it out. I said, well, how could you actually do this? Because a lot of my episode is really quite weird. This is something that I think comes out in this interview, that the 3 episodes are qualitatively different. Not qualitatively, definitely have a very, very different feel to each other. Even at the read-through, Rachel, your episode went down so well, I was really jealous you were getting to direct it. Does she the first one, you think? Because there are so many complicated stage direction in mine. The reaction in the room was like, what? Sorry. That's got to be in the toy maker's realm, right? That's got to be in the toy maker's realm. That's what it sounds like, isn't it? which makes me think it's going to be a disaster. But of course, when you come to film it, it's actually really cool. Rusty Davies used to read all the stage directions in the scripts, which he does very well. But yes, of course, when you come and film, it's actually really cool. I've got a lot of similarities with two of my favorite films, Aliens and The Thing. A little bit of DNA of those mixed in. So it sounds like it's a real action-adventure thing, right? It sounds pretty good. Is this the end of the page? Mixed in with Doctor Who. Okay. Look how old is he in this? He looks so young. Man, how is he? Yeah, at least having a beard here, he looks like a grown-up, right? Fine. Doink. Rachel, I read all three, and my first reaction was, wow. The first one is classic family Doctor Who. Please say that again. Oh, classic family Doctor Who. I want classic family Doctor Who, right? Which is why Jinx Monsooners make me nervous, right? It's bringing back the world that Russell left in 2010. That's not really classic family Doctor. Like, Russell's Doctor Who was very unique, right? It wasn't like Robert Holmes' classic family Doctor Who. I mean, Tom Baker, Robert Holmes, I would say. David Cameron left, and then after it became, and then after that, it became much more expensive with Russell really throwing his massive imagination up while being thoughtful about setting up the next series. So yeah, this sounds like very Toymaker-ish, doesn't it? So Tom says, each special has a different flavour, like Russell's flexing his muscles and showing all the different things Doctor Who could do. You know, again, I just want to, bewail the awful rollout of Jinx Monsoon's casting, right? I mean, man, if you're going to do a controversial casting like that, you really need to be able to balance the reaction. The reaction hasn't been good. I mean, it's been good by the crazes on Twitter, right? But like regular people have been like, wait, what? My favorite episode features lots of people in lots of scenes. There's soldiers, there's battles, and I thought I haven't always succeeded in doing the action stuff, which is loads of extras that well in the past. Really? Wait a minute, you did the whole World War One scenes. They were pretty good, I thought. With loads of extras in the past. This is really scary for me, so I was determined to do that part really, really well, and it's all about embracing what scares you. I mean, honestly, that is like pure truth in terms of being a great creator, right? You've always got to go into places where you're uncomfortable with. Again, that's why I always like Nick Briggs' stuff, because I think he always seems to be pushing himself forward somehow, which I personally, I appreciate it. Yeah, let's see what this box hat is over here. Doink. Rachel Taylor Special One, who produced by John Waters films Hairspray. What? Produced the John Waters films Hairspray and Crybaby. Really? Wow. Okay, I remember both those movies. Before she made her directorial debut with Fred is Dead: The Final Nightmare. I remember that as well. After making Tango, she made Tango. What's all this? Go to page view. There. I like Tango. That was with what's the name? Not. Oh, Jesus. Go back to page view. Yes, I'm trying to zoom in so I can read it. You pain in the bloody ass. Okay. Now let's zoom out this bit. Okay. Let's see if I can move there without it clicking somewhere. Okay, Tank Girl. In 95, Rachel moved into TV directing, where extensive transatlantic credits include Band of Gold, haven't seen it. Touching Evil, heard of it. Ally McBeal, no, I remember that. The Flash, seen that. Supergirl, seen that. Sherlock, ugh, crap. Riverdale, haven't seen it but don't think it's bad. American Girl's quite good. She directed 7 of the previous episodes of Doctor Who, including all the 3 Capaldi's season finales. They're all excellent, including the song on Twice Upon a Time and the highly acclaimed Heaven Sent, which is not very rewatchable, weirdly enough, right? Tom Kingsley, special number 2, directed the first 2 series of hit sitcoms, BAFTA award-winning Staff Lets Flats, and Supernatural hit Ghosts. Okay. I heard of Ghost, I haven't seen it. Is it like Rent a Ghost? Oh, bring back Rent a Ghost, that's what I say. He also directed 3 episodes of This Is Going to Hurt the BBC's acclaimed 2022 adaptation of Adam Kay's best-selling book. Earlier in his career, he also co-directed feature films Black Pond and The Darkest Universe. Oh, so I did have his IMDb right? With his friend and former colleague, former Footlights colleague Will Sharp. The former earned them an Even Standard Most Promising Newcomers Award and a BAFTA nomination for Outstanding Director. Okay, well again, this all sounds good. Chania Button, we're going to go with Chania Button, all right? Chania Button, Special 3, is a director and screenwriter who began her career as a writer and assistant director in various films. Please, if you want to work in entertainment, if you want to work as a director, if you like Doctor Who, get yourself any freaking job. A runner is fantastic. Intern, anything. Being around gets you work, moves you up. Get yourself any job. Runner and assistant director on various films, including Harry Potter franchise. She made a feature film debut with the 2015 black comedy Burn, 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 followed by the biological drama Vita and Virginia. What's a biological? Biographical. That makes much more sense. I mean, everything. Vita and Virginia, starring Gemma Arterton. Gemma Arterton, who was, like, for a moment going to be like the new sexy, English star, and then kind of vanished. She was in the bad James Bond movie and the Centurions movie, along with Jodie. Oh, man, go and watch the music video from that first Centurions movie, which has Jodie dancing in it really badly. It's embarrassingly badly. And then watch it with the sound off. It's even funnier. That's not a nice thing to do. But anyway. Bicky. Fine. Her television event called BBC Wartime Added Drama, World of Fire, stars historical epic The Spanish Princess, and Acorn TV's Whistable Pearl. Okay, don't know any of that stuff. Fine. Chania says it was the most expansive thing, probably most expensive thing as well, I've ever read. Every page I turned, it was a different world, a different idea, a different sort of bonkers and inspiring adventure. It was this ultimate luxury. I'll read it and go, this writer is at the very peak of his abilities. See, this is the thing that gives me hope about Rusty Davis. This writer is at the very peak of his abilities, completely unbound and confident in what he's putting on page. That's something that is true, right? He is very confident in what he's doing, which again, I mean, that just like is a good counterbalance to the bad PR we've had recently. Hopefully, it's just PR. Is completely unbound and confident in what he's putting on paper, which is, as a director, is very, very empowering. It's really empowering. I just reworded it for no reason. It's challenging in the most positive way possible for someone to go, here's a big idea. Let's see you go do it. Yeah, okay. Can anything in your CV prepare you for directing Doctor Who? So they asked Chania. It's definitely its own world. It definitely is. There we go. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing Neil Patrick Harris. It's like, give us some more info, Russell. What are you planning on doing to us? You can watch comparative sorts of fantasy worlds like Marvel and DC, but Doctor Who is really its own beast. It really is true, right? That really is true. It's got such a big heart, and it's uniquely human in that you've got these beautiful scenes that speak eloquently about how joyful and painful it is to be a human being. Ooh. Again, it can be excited. And having the Doctor observe that it's one of the most intelligent and emotional, eloquent things about the show. Okay. It's accompanied by these brilliant, imaginative, fantasy-driven sequences. I come from doing a lot of work on ambitious high-end TV, so in my own way, I had a lot of context mounting some of the ambitious sequences that we did. But you can, but you can't say, there's anything in it that in the show that I've done before. Being well, okay, well, again, you're 36. Okay, it doesn't strike me you got that much experience, but I think you're probably going to be okay. Being a director on this on this was very much like being a magician, having pull every trick out the bag and speak every language. Okay, fine. Okay. Let's keep going. Doink. By the way, this Meet the Beat. I mean, this gives me a lot of hope, right? Because this looks fantastic. Hang on. Doink. Yeah. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button, that's why. Okay. I mean, again, the Beat the Meat looks just freaking incredible. It really genuinely does. Come here, come back. It paints with every colour possible. Our episode is like every song playing at the same time, an explosion of ideas. It sounds like it's going to be good, doesn't it? It does sound like it's going to be good. Here's the thing, yeah, I mean, could it really be something for everybody? Could it really? My main concern with Jinx Monsoon is grooming, right? That's really it. That's my main overwhelming concern. Other than that, I'm really kind of mellow. Explosion ideas and sounds and colours and performances. I can't quite believe that everything believe everything that it does in an hour. Oh, okay. Tom says, whatever his name is, Kingsley. I've done a lot of sitcoms which tend to have very low budgets. With something like Ghost, I'm quite often literally doing the effects myself on the laptop. Wow, really? That's kind of wild. So that's giving me a good grounding on how even if there's no money to spend on effects, you can keep it. You can keep it. This is really heartening, right? This is where good filmmaking comes from, right? Not having enough money. That's why I would say the Marvel films have just been shit for too long. Since Disney bought them, apparently. Yeah, I would say Disney bought them. I filmed a lot of tests for this in my kitchen, just working out how we're going to do certain things. I like stuff like that, right? I like becoming real, like doing it in your kitchen, right? In the great make, do, and mend tradition of Doctor Who directors, right? Yeah, exactly. There's one effect sequence in my episode where we needed something to grow bigger, and literally involved somebody standing on a little box. Okay, and that's the level we were at. Okay, so it sounds very Alice in Wonderlandy. Then on the other hand, we had these incredible CG environments. Bit of a Wraith Warrior there. Tell us about working with David and Catherine. It seems that they came back to Doctor Who for the sheer love of it. Was that obvious on set? Very much so. Yeah. Okay. I started reading this article with basically that point. Right. The vibe I got from 2005 to now is sheer happiness about working together. Right. That's the total vibe I get. Very much so. They have a great chemistry and a great loyalty to each other, which was apparently from the first moment of meeting. They both have such a sheer love and respect for the show. I can get it from David. I didn't know that about Catherine, although she was in as a guest star, right? Special guest, and then she came back. So I guess that does show she does like it. Well, she didn't know anything about it before she started, though. What about Tim? David's thinking about the audience all the time in everything he does. You can tell. And I think it's one of the reasons it made Round the World in 80 Days work so well. I really enjoyed that, right? I really genuinely enjoyed that. Like, I'm easy to. A lot of things. Man, everybody hated Mandalorian this week with Lizzo and Jack Black. I kind of liked it. I tell you, I kind of liked it. And working with Catherine, she really connects with the history and the backstory of her character. So I was impressed by her recall of the emotional beats that Dr. Donna had from the first run together. I'm sure she remembers. Okay, that's what made it so real. Both of them has such a command for their characters and ability to live in them, and instinctively know what's right for them. They were working hard, but never look like effort. I hate to say, that's kind of the vibe I've got off Shooty as well, right? It totally is the kind of vibe I got off Shooty. I think, yeah. I'm still looking forward to it. Amazingly, I keep double checking myself. Are you still looking forward to it? Yes, actually, I am. I'm still looking forward to it. They couldn't have been more joyful. That the second that Doctor opened up his mouth as a Doctor in the read through, you could hear the entire room sigh with joy at having him back. They said the same about Nick Briggs when he first did the Dalek voice in the in the read through for Dalek. Right, it really is. They're so good together. That is true. I mean, look, Doctor and Donna. One of the all-time great Doctor and... Well, you can say that about Dr. Martha, Dr. Rose as well, can't you? One of the all-time great Doctor Companion link-ups, right? They're so good together. They do these characters, they know them so well. Occasionally, I need to give them a little nudge in one direction. And half the time they will be all good, and half the time they will be. David might be like, "Tom, I'll absolutely try it, but I'm not actually sure the Doctor would do that." Oh, yes, God, yes, David, say that again. I mean, that shouldn't give me an erection, but actually does. Well done, David. He knows what he's doing. David, he knows what he's doing. Dave, could you imagine if anybody said that during the Jodie Whittaker years? Look, I'll do that. I don't think the Doctor will do that. What? Everything in this script. Everything in the script written with the name Chibnall on it. And he'll try anything. Oh, wow, game for a laugh. He literally runs onto the set every morning. He's so confident. He's such calm, friendly way. Well, how do you run in a calm, friendly way? He's like just very happy to be there. He seems like a man who's very settled, very happy, and Catherine brings this extra cheeky energy to the stuff, which is often just trying to make David laugh. If you haven't heard it, by the way, Big Finish has a great Donna Noble box set called Kidnap. Really good, really highlights why Catherine Tate is so good. I have the very strong image. We were in the underground parking lot in London, which is the most annoying location because we're in London. Why are we in an underground parking lot? You could be, pretty much anywhere for that. They're not fun places to start with. Plus, it was noisy. It was really noisy, and it was a night shoot. I was dreading everything to do with it. And we're setting up. I turn around and running down the ramp. There's David Tennant in a complete joy. All of a sudden, I feel like David's here. It's all going to be fine. It's all going to be fun. Again. This is the overwhelming vibe from the production and from 2005 to 2010. Like, just a very happy place. You know, like, it was Neil, what was it? What was it? One of the original producers. You had Phil Collinson. Literally said they said he fell onto his knees and started crying when he heard they were coming back. Right? Because it was such a great time in their life. Directors in distress. I do like the box outs. Doctor Who is famously one of the hardest television shows in the world to make. As a director, what's the fun to stress ratio? Interesting. Making Doctor Who is always exciting and always a thrill. Rachel assures us it's always fun. And being on the 60s and having David and Catherine just seeing David and Catherine open his mouth and say the lines of the Doctor was enough to bring joy. Second person said that now, okay? Literally the second person said that. But yes, in terms of the day-to-day production, the stress level is massive. There are times when you're having absolute blast, but underneath it, your hair's on fire. Well, it's a job, isn't it? What was reassuring for me, says Tom, was being able to chat with Rachel and hear that she was finding it stressful, because I thought Rachel's done a lot and she'll probably be finding it a breeze. Apparently not. For Hanya, it very much depends on the day. There's never a day when you forget you're doing Doctor Who. You're a small part in a massive legacy she's saying everything right, okay? She's saying everything right. In a massive legacy that has been so brilliant, people have been involved in. That's quite humbling. You don't march around thinking, I'm a director because it's so much bigger than you are.
So much bigger. Yeah, so much bigger than you. And you feel supported by its legacy rather than intimidated by it. Again, I think that's very much the Russell T Davies working environment. And it was going to be fun, and it was fun. Next page. Doink. So Peter Capaldi is still your. So, is Peter Capaldi still your doctor, Rachel, or is David giving him run for the money? You're asking me a question that will get me killed. Well, not by us. We'll kind of like to know. But she was very defining for the 12th Doctor era, wasn't she? Sorry, let me put it another way. Do they differ much in their approaches to the job? Oh, they are different. They're both the Doctor. And they're both their doctors, but Peter is a little more rehearsal orientated than David in terms of wanting to experience more, to play with the lines more. Peter will give you 3 completely different takes on something, whereas David, once he settles on what he wants to do and what the Doctor would do, he's very consistent with it. I'll say the biggest point of difference is it's joyous working with both of them. Do you only work with Scottish doctors? Well, I guess you got to do a bit of Sylvester McCoy then, haven't you, mate? I mean, it's just the rules apparently. I do. I will walk across the Atlantic to work. With either of them. Okay. What was it like filming at Wolf Studios? Ah, yes, the famous new. Wolf Studios. Where they put tons of money into it. What was like filming at Wall Street? Yeah, there we go. We try and do that without it moving. Aha! There we go. The day I arrived, I had jet lag. The first thing I did was put me in a virtual TARDIS. You put on VR goggles and walk through the TARDIS like an amusement park ride. I wonder what TARDIS it was, right? What TARDIS do you reckon it was? It was like an amusement park ride, which was mind-blowing in itself. And then they took me on a tour of the stages, which were just huge. Basically... Okay, can you put the VR TARDIS for free online so we can play with it, okay? I want the VR TARDIS, right? I got PlayStation VR, not many people have it, so give me a VR bloody TARDIS, right? They basically the biggest stage I've ever seen. They were completely empty apart from one tiny wee big angel. Well, it was full-size wee, but it looked tiny there. Why is there a wee big angel in there? I want to know. Tom said, I had a VR tour as well, but I couldn't really work it. I kept breaking it. Did that worry them a bit, Tom? That the guy they hired to direct this is this technically... come back. What are you doing? Technically... where is it? I've totally lost my place. Oh, technically demanding TV show, couldn't work a VR headset. Well, that's the problem. Yeah, probably, but it was too late by then. They'd already signed the contract, got the money. Nothing's happening, baby. It's all mine now, right? I remember, who was it? Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, right? Before the Seinfeld finale, he was on Howard Stern, right? The Howard Stern show, which, but we're deep in the 90s. And they say, well, does it suck? Which actually it did. He said, well, listen, I cashed the check now. Nothing you can do. I'm a bit like that. I can't even play computer games. Okay. They're not that hard to play, mate. Hanya. You're pretty much grew up on film sets like Harry Potter. Hanya's dad is Roy Button OBE, a former Warner Brothers whose 300 film credit include the assistant director on Superman, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. How does Babel compare? Well, now we finally found out how you got the got into the industry. I did for better. I mean, I hope she's good as well. I did for better or worse grow up on sets. The ambition of the visual world at Bad Wolf doesn't feel smaller at all. It feels it's a fabulous facility. You also got to play on the new TARDIS. OMG! Oh my gosh, it's enormous. Said no one to me ever. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Said no one to me ever. It's sort of church-like in scale. Said no one to me ever. And yet it's also an intimate space that takes you from one place to another, said no one to me ever, or even larger, wider world. So much detail and love and thought has gone into it. I can't wait to see this freaking TARDIS set. Look, Russell, we need to be excited again. Can you get us excited? I'm not asking for a handy. Just a few pictures of the TARDIS, okay? That's all you need, okay? That's all I'm asking for, mate. And even wider, large as well. So much detail and love and thought has gone into it. You can point the camera anywhere, and it's... and it looks amazing. Looks amazeballs. Rachel says, I was around for the 4 months watching it being built. 4 months, and they talked this TARDIS set so bloody much, right? 4 months to build a set. Bloody hell, right? And I was having listen, I really believe that maybe Disney's fate might be riding on this. Look, they just had an investor call, which was a disaster, right? They are in free fall. Mandalorian is being rejected wholesale, and it's the best thing they've done in the Star Wars world. Marvel's dead in the water. They're going to try and revive it with Secret Invasion. Really, the trailer for Secret Invasion was basically Nick Fury said, yeah, I know you haven't seen any Marvel movies since that last Avengers movie. I've been away too. Now we're going to come back. Yeah, they're trying to bring you back in with that, right? I don't know, but they need a successful franchise, and Doctor Who, they're banking heavily on it being it. If it's not that, right, if it's not a successful franchise, they may be Disney may be broken up, right? I think it's really getting tough there, right? We're having all these conversations about how to like the wall roundels. I love the roundels and things like that, but I just keep thinking it will never be ready in time. In 4 months, it's one set. So the fact that in the last couple of days on my contract, we finally got in there was amazing. Okay, what set? What TARDIS set did David Tennant film on? Right, what TARDIS set did he film on? I don't know. I like they're not even revealing in Doctor Who magazine, so who knows what dares to dream. It's a word only ever really used for Doctor Who fans. I'm so pleased you said roundel. It's a word only ever used by Doctor Who fans. Well, it's part of my vocabulary now. As directors, how do you feel Doctor Who is changing in the new era? Can it not be groovy? Okay, that's really what I want. It not to be trying to convince my kids to not play innocently as kids, but rather suck somebody's dick, okay? I would really like that, okay? I would really genuinely like that not to be the case. I don't know if ambition has changed, because the ambition of Doctor Who has always been above and beyond. That's true. Look at the Web Planet. Look at Dalek Invasion of Earth. They just said, let's do something, and didn't think how to do it, which is always impressive. But the whole approach has definitely felt different. It's a generous, brilliant. Karney says it's generous, brilliant. Thing that Russell has returned to something that he's already made a success. It's a mark of someone who truly has a lot of love and respect for the material. That's absolutely true. Finally, was there a particular moment for you when you that made you stop and think, this is really this is a really mad way to make a living? I'm sure there was. Let's see what it. I think for me, it was we were filming outside with the Wraith Warriors for the first time. Yeah, they look great as well. There were these. Hang on. There were these 8-foot-tall monsters on still in impressive plastic suits. David Tennant said they smelled like he thought Wraith Warriors would smell, all plasticky, right? Who couldn't see a thing and can barely stand up. So a classic Doctor Who situation. David comes along and says he wants to photograph a photograph of them. That smell, okay, this is where it comes from. That smell. That slightly rubbery smell is exactly everything I remember. I just thought it's amazing to do this job. Tom Kingsley says, I remember one day, which is a good illustration of how varied it is, where we started in the morning filming something outdoors in a really beautiful location, and we came inside to an alien. Came inside to do an alien creature, and then we filmed a robot, and then we did a pick up with David and Catherine running through this completely imaginary location on green screen. I bet that's going to look great. I bet it's going to look great, right? And all of these moments, which are really cool and completely different, from one single episode. And I just thought, yeah, a kid in the candy store. And Hanya, who, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, darling, I do apologize. I absolutely know the moment, okay? But I would have to leave the planet if I told you. There's a particular moment in my episode which will be apparent when you watch it, that it was like out of this world, and you'll never, and I know I'll never do anything like it again. I don't know what that could be, but it sounds kind of exciting. So I don't know about you. This is actually done quite a lot to reinvigorate my excitement, right? This is actually done. I tell you, we just need some good news, Russell. We need some news that will go, oh yeah, this is good. But this actually done quite the trick. 'Cause I think it's going to be good, right? I think the 6th anniversary is going to be good. I am 66% sure, right? And that's not much, right? But I'm 66% sure that the Shooting Gut series is going to be good as well. I don't think it's going to be super groomy, right? I don't think it's going to be groomy at all. I think this is probably a breakout, somewhat straight roll for this Jinx Monsoon person. Again, I got a lot more context for them. Join me on Saturday night. That'll be tomorrow night. If you're watching this in real time, join me on Saturday night when we go over that. It'll be 7 o'clock UK. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, may I say, have a freaking awesome Friday!